Hello, Telvanni here, and today we're going to talk about the changes made to scarabs and the removal of sextants in 3.24 Necropolis, and ultimately how that's hurting most of the player base in one way or another. I had my doubts about some of the changes to endgame mapping before the League launched, but I decided to hold off judgment until we actually had an opportunity to play around with the changes. My thought process was, no point in dooming and glooming over something we haven't even tried out yet. However, almost 2 weeks into the League now, I feel like we've given it a fair shake. So, what's wrong with this new system? Well, first off, it creates huge barriers of entry to a lot of players for some of the best currency-making strategies in the game. I'm sure you've all seen the new strategy revolving around T17 maps, Tormented Spirits, Rogue Exiles, Beyond, and Divination Scarabs. And how people are dropping full Headhunters, full Mage Bloods, even full Mirrors through Divination cards, using the new Divination Scarab of Curation. Sounds great, right? Well, maybe for a handful of players who have builds strong enough and can afford the 50 Divine investment into each map. But for the rest of us, not so much. These players are pumping out thousands of Divines, Uniques, and Scarabs per hour. And this significantly devalues pretty much every other currency-making strategy out there. Sure, there are some exceptions like Heist, Essence, Harbinger, but even those are not entirely immune, as at least a portion of your expected profits are going to be coming from things that are heavily deflated by this currency-making strategy. But I would argue that this problem goes deeper than one strategy ruining the market. One Scarab that at the time of this video is 30 Divines. For most of recent history, there have been powerful Atlas strategies that revolved around Scarabs and Sextants. Maybe none quite this extreme, but still strong, and league-defining metas have arisen. However, at the end of the day, almost anyone, and I mean this, almost anyone, had access to the good strategies in one way or another. Maybe the Magic Fine 6-man groups were running the strategy with 4 winged Scarabs and 4 elevated Sextants, but the common man, the average endgame player, could still get a taste of it themselves. Instead of elevated Sextants, run the regular version instead. Sure, it's only 4 use as opposed to 16, and maybe it only added 1 Legion instead of 2, or only increased Strongbox loot by 500% instead of 600, but the option was still there. Instead of winged Scarabs, run Gilded or Polished, or hey, if you're just starting off, run Rusted. Maybe you only get 2 Harbingers, where the Giga groups are getting 7, but at least it's something. Well, no longer. The Scarab changes mean that if there is a Scarab that is absolutely integral to a certain strategy, be that the Divine Scarab of Curation, or Essence Scarab of Calcification, or any other Scarab, if you can't afford to invest in that Scarab, you're just out of luck. There is no cheaper option. There is no affordable version. Go run something else. And ultimately, for me personally, that's a really bad feeling. Essence is your favorite mechanic. Well, too bad. You can't really run it unless you can afford to shell out 60 Chaos for a Scarab. Oh, well, you enjoyed farming Divination cards. Well, unless you've got 30 Divines laying around for a Scarab, you're out of luck. I heard you like Strongboxes. Well, I hope you can spend 100 Chaos per map for a Containment Scarab, or you're not going to be doing very well. In the past, winged Scarab prices were dictated by what 6-man Magic Find groups were willing to pay, and essentially priced most solo players out of using winged Scarabs entirely. And we're going to continue to see those type of market pressures, only this time, there's no budget option. I don't want to spend all day talking about how bad these changes are for budget Atlas strategies. I could go on and on. At the end of the day, I do like how much smoother it feels to run a mapping session. Pop in 20 of each Scarab, no more fiddling around with Sextants, and just start blasting maps. But I'm not convinced the quality of life was worth the economic limitations to strategies that came along with it. Anyway, thank you for watching, good luck with your League, and I'll see you in the next one.